Hi guys, it's Rob here. Today we go over another older location, that being Gaithersburg, Maryland. This was formerly a Pizza Time theater and potentially went through up to 5 different stage types throughout its run. You'll see what I mean by potentially later. For now, I want to thank Pizza Times Priscilla underscore official, or Pizza Times Priscilla, for requesting this location originally, and thank Real RTOT 9138, or Real RTOT, for also requesting this location. As usual, I've gathered information from multiple different sources, which I'll be linking in the description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, as in the next video, I'll be covering a location that I've wanted to cover for a long time. Anyways, let's get into the history of Chuck E. Cheese in Gaithersburg, Maryland. 516 in Frederick Avenue location, opened in March of 1983, is the Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater. They opened with the balcony stage, likely having Madame Oink upon opening, as the show tape circulating around the time of opening was the Tune Machine. There's not much else to say for this era, except that they would have replaced Madame Oink with Helen around 1983 or 1984. Between 1989 and 1990, this location received the 1988 remodel, removing the Pizza Time Theater elements and replacing them with new ones, such as the colored checkers, painting the walls to white, and replacing the exterior to one that would have looked something like this. They may have also potentially received the C stage, though this is unconfirmed. Either way, they would replace the stage with a road stage between 1991 and 1992, which we can actually see in footage from 1992. The bots are in great shape here and look quite nice. We also see that their walk-around at the time is sporting the mid to late 80s head with the Coach Chuck attire. 1993 footage shows even more of the store. The bots look to be in good shape here and are all dressed for Christmas time. It's also interesting seeing Munch and Pasquale have their Pizza Time Theater arm mechanisms. I know that was kept like that early on for road stages, but it's still interesting to see here. We also get to see some of the games and some of the rides in this footage. We also see things from the 1988 remodel, such as the white walls, the colored checkers, and one of the parody posters, which happens to be a Showbiz Pizza one with Rolf and Earl. This feels strange to see in a location that was always a Chuck E. Cheese's, despite being something that would have been normal during this time. Speaking of which, these duck umbrellas also hang from the ceilings, which I was unaware was a thing Chuck E. Cheese locations had. I thought only Showbiz Pizza locations got those. My assumption was that it was just a part of the 1980 remodel, though that's not confirmed. We also see this unique art of Pizza Time Theater Pasquale, Chuck, and Jasper in front of giant stars, which is not a piece I've ever seen before, and is certainly cool to see here. We see the flag wavers were still here at this point, which is also cool to see. Finally, their Chuck walk around had the early 90s head, with the red derby and thumb check attire. Next is footage from 1996, which shows that the store had received the major 90s remodel, with the new art replacing the older art, some form of the sky tubes being added, maybe the sky crawl, and the new green and white booths. The bots look to be in good shape, though the mouths move quite fast here, which I'm unsure is how it was supposed to be during this time or not. Helen also does not appear to have eyelids, as her eyes are wide open here. We see the Chuck walk around from this footage has a 90s Chuck head with full tux attire on. Another video from 1996 gives us a better look at what seems to be the sky crawl, with the ball pit they had as well. We also see some of the games and rides they had at the time, and the bots look to be in the same shape as before. The Chuck walk around they had here was the tracksuit variant, still with the 90s Chuck head with the red derby hat. There's also a picture, presumably from 1996, showing off the exterior, with the words Chuck E. Cheese's on the front in red, without a logo, and the red and yellow awnings in the back, closer to the actual entrance. Not much seemed to happen in the early 2000s, though in late 2005, the store received the 2005 update to the 2003 CoolCheck reconfiguration, getting rid of the showroom walls, balcony seating, and part of the sky tubes, plus replacing the older decor with newer decor, and changing the exterior to the Adventure Chuck exterior, with the purple and red awnings. The most significant change came when the 2-stage would be replaced with a 16-movement Studio C beta, which should now be located in the back of the store, where the game room was. We have a few photos from the early 2010s, giving us a look at the sky tubes, part of the toddler zone, the games, and the rides during this time. Our first video comes from early 2016, showing off a performance from their Studio C beta. It seems to work well here, and I also noticed that the curtains are still present here, though I'm unsure if they work or not. Footage from mid-2016 shows the bot not really performing, and I'm unsure if it's just that the bot is in that much disrepair or if it's on random movements. His head does turn here though, so I assume it's one or the other. Another video from mid-2016 shows off the entirety of the store, showing off the games, rides, skytubes, and toddler zone, as well as the decor. What I find most interesting about this store tour, though, is the fact that it gives us a look at the layout, and you can kind of envision how the store used to look when it was a piece of time theater. Also interesting is these larger windows, which have these cut-ups, which I don't remember seeing in a location before, and gives the store a sort of house aesthetic. At some point in 2017, the skytubes and toddler zone of this location would be replaced with bumper cars, which is not something I've seen at a location before. It appears to be small for a bumper cars attraction, having 4 bumper cars in a small area, but it's still quite interesting that this existed at some stores at one point. We see from a video in 2018 that the bot is working again, though the mouth movement is inconsistent and one of the hands appears to not be working. In June of 2020, due to a certain pandemic which caused low sales, the store would close. The building would remain vacant for around a year or two, having the entire pillar structure holding the exterior sign demolished, and building a seating area in its place, which actually looks pretty nice. Eventually, it would become a Five Below, with the logo being put on one of the structures of the seating area. To my knowledge, it is unknown what happened to both the cybernetics of the store or the 16 movement Studio C beta that was there when the store closed. Overall, Gaithersburg was an interesting look into a rare type of location, one that decided to replace their 2 stage with a Studio C bot. Not only that, but we can confirm that they had at least 4 different stage types, which isn't a very common thing for a store to do, and even having 5 potentially, if a C stage was indeed installed at this location. Alongside the fact that you could see remnants of the Piece of Time theater era in its layout, this location was an interesting one to go over, though I still have Silver Spring over it for just how retro it stayed up until its closure. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll admit, I didn't think this store would be very interesting to discuss, but with how many stages they went through, combined with the retro layout and the bumper cars being here at one point, this actually ended up being a cool store to go over. My next video will be going over a location I've been wanting to talk about for a long time, that being Cedar Rapids, Iowa. This was a store that stayed pretty retro for a long time, so if you're interested in seeing that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're notified when it drops. God bless, and I hope you all have a blessed day.